Welcome to this series on our faith. In this first lesson in the series, we will address the question, who is God?
My name is Alexander, and I will be your narrator for this lesson. Please read the suggestion below. The question, who is God, has intrigued many. We are asked to pray to God and to love God, but this is difficult to do if we don't know who He is.
In this lesson, we will see how the church helps us gain clarity on the question, who is God? We'll gain insights from the Creed, the Bible and a hymn, and we'll explore the meaning this has in our life. Then, we'll summarize what we've learned. Let's start with the Creed. The first part of the Creed is as follows. I believe in one God, Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and of all things visible and invisible. Let's look at the first line. I believe in one God. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, God is defined as the being perfect in power, wisdom, and goodness. God also has other attributes according to St. John of Damascus and others. Holiness, love, omnipresence, or everywhere present at the same time, omniscience, all-knowing, omnipotence, all-powerful, Trinity, Spirit of truth, and more. Now, let's go back to the first line of the Creed. I believe in one God. What does this mean?
By saying, I believe in one God, we are confessing our faith. We are choosing the path that leads to God. We choose God who is perfect goodness as opposed to evil, perfect truth as opposed to lies, and perfect wisdom as opposed to confusion. This reminds us of the words of the psalm, Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly.
The second line of the Creed is Father Almighty. The term Father implies a being with whom we share a personal relationship. Almighty means unlimited in might, all-powerful. Therefore, God is a Father on whom we can rely. He is strong and powerful and cares about us. The third line is Maker of heaven and earth. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a maker is a person or thing that makes or produces something. We are just starting to appreciate the vast expanse of the universe. We have so much more to learn.
The fourth line of the Creed is, and of all things visible and invisible. Invisible created reality consists of the host of bodiless powers, generally and somewhat incorrectly called the angels. The Orthodox Church recognizes 9 choirs or groups of angels as found in the scriptures. Angels, archangels, powers, authorities, principalities, dominions, thrones, cherubim, and seraphim. Angels are part of God's creation. In this icon of the Annunciation, Archangel Gabriel is shown with the Virgin Mary. He is a messenger of God, a great herald of good news. There are also fallen angels who try to deter us along our path to God. These are some of the challenges we need to overcome.
So far, we've been looking at the Creed. Now let's see what we can learn about God from the Bible. The book of Genesis describes the first day of creation and God's role. We can read these verses and try to understand their implications. In the beginning, God made heaven and earth. The earth was invisible and unfinished, and darkness was over the deep. We learn that God the Father made heaven and earth. This is just as we saw in the Creed. The Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water. The Spirit of God is the Holy Spirit. He proceeds from the Father and is the Lord and giver of life. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God the Father spoke to his Word and only begotten Son, through whom he had made the light. During the Divine Liturgy, this prayer is chanted just before the reading of the Creed. Let us love one another, that with one mind we may confess the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, Trinity, one in essence and undivided. The Father is God above or beyond us. The Son is God with us. The Holy Spirit is God within us. To help us visualize the concept of God as Trinity, we can look to science for an analogy. Let us consider the atom. Atoms are the tiny particles from which all things are made. Most of the atom's mass is concentrated in the nucleus at the center, shown in blue, made from protons and neutrons that are packed together. Electrons, shown in red, orbit around the nucleus in shells, sometimes called orbitals or energy levels. When an atom absorbs energy, an electron inside it moves in a wave to a higher energy level, but this makes the atom unstable. As the electron returns to its original level, it gives back the energy as a flash of light called a photon. A photon, shown in green, is a packet of light. Light is a kind of energy that travels in the form of waves in a vibrating pattern of electricity and magnetism that we call electromagnetic energy. A photon is the basic unit of light. Now let's consider the Holy Trinity. According to St. Gregory the Theologian, the union is the Father, from whom and to whom the order of the persons runs its course. So the union is the Father. This could be analogous to the nucleus in the atom. The Holy Spirit is God's wind, breath, or energy, like the electron. The Son is the light of the world, analogous to the photon, which is the basic unit of light. Although the atom provides a very limited analogy to the Trinity, it helps us visualize God as Trinity, a mystery that is beyond our understanding. We can also learn about God from a hymn called the Thrice Holy Hymn. In this hymn, we say the word holy 3 times, hence, thrice holy. It is a very old hymn that we hear frequently in our church services. Let's listen to it.
Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal one, have mercy on us, have mercy on us. Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal one, have mercy on us, have mercy on us. Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal one, have mercy on us, have mercy on us. Glory be to the Father and Son, and to the Holy Spirit, now and ever and unto ages ages of ages. Amen. Holy Immortal, have mercy on us. Holy God, Holy Mighty, Holy Immortal One, have mercy on us, have mercy on us.
From the thrice holy hymn, we learn that God is holy. Sanctity or holiness refer to God's divine nature and to the presence of the Holy Spirit within us. In the hymn, we hear the phrase, Holy Immortal. To help us understand more about God being immortal, let us look at an analogy from science. Einstein's theory of special relativity says that time slows down or speeds up depending on how fast you move relative to something else. Approaching the speed of light, a person inside a spaceship would age much slower than his twin at home. At the International Space Station, time goes slower, lagging approximately 0.01 seconds behind for every 12 Earth months passed. So time is not absolute. It is relative to your frame or reference. The faster you move, the slower time goes. What happens if you move at the speed of light? Does time stand still? Does light function outside of time? Then why shouldn't God also function outside of time or be immortal? Clearly, we have much more to learn about light and time in the physical world and God and his immortality in the spiritual world. We have gained some insights about who God is. Now let's see what meaning this has in our life.
We confess our faith with the words of the Creed, I believe in one God. Thus, we choose God who is perfect goodness, truth, wisdom, and much more. We are filled with wonder at God's creation. We sing the thrice holy hymn to elevate our spirit from worldly cares to God's holiness. We nurture the presence of the Holy Spirit within us. Let's summarize what we've learned. Who is God? In the Creed, we confess our faith, I believe in one God. We choose God who is perfect goodness, truth, wisdom, and more. We also declare that God is Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and of all things visible and invisible. From the Bible, we learned that God is Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. From the hymn, we learned that God is holy and immortal. The meaning this has in our life is that we seek God through His goodness, truth, wisdom, and more. Then we take it a step further. We seek holiness, union with God. In this lesson, we made analogies between science and concepts such as the Trinity and immortality. These analogies become closer as scientific discoveries are made. We still have much to learn and far to go along our spiritual journey. God is mysterious and has revealed what is necessary for our salvation. God revealed Himself for the person who chooses Christ. We hear this prayer in church. God is the Lord and has revealed Himself to us. Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord.
Thank you for participating in this lesson.